This is for Algebra 2 with trig. This is our fourth day working on an algebra review. We're looking at the exponents and all their properties. A product property is when you're multiplying two bases, you add the exponents. The power property is when you're raising a power to the power, you multiply the exponents. You're working with a quotient, which is a fraction, and the whole fraction is raised to a power. You can distribute that into both the numerator and denominator. The zero exponent is always going to be a value of 1. When you're working with the quotient of powers, we can subtract to figure out if you have two values with an exponent on the outside, you can distribute that through, and a negative exponent will always put your base on the opposite side of your fraction. Right now it's on top of a fraction, so the negative 7 means that the x to the 7th power is actually in the denominator. If it was already in a denominator, that means it belongs in the numerator. So in this case, we're going to say b8 minus 12, which is b equals negative 4. So it's b over, or 1 over b to the 4th. The negative 4 puts it into the denominator. Now the b to the 4th, that's a positive exponent. The negative tells you that this b belongs in the denominator. 6 to the 14th. Then we're going to subtract. You have more 6s on the bottom than you have on the top. You have 2 extra. 14 minus 16 is negative 2. It belongs in the denominator. And that's easy enough to tell us that that's 1 over 36. Notice we didn't use our calculator to calculate that all out, get a decimal, and convert it. Anything raised to the 0 power is always 1. When we have a value raised to a power, we can distribute that to the first term and to the second term. If you raise a negative to the third power, a negative times a negative times a negative, you get a negative. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Y squared times y squared times y squared is y to the 6th power. Here you would have to distribute the 2 to all of the exponents. Notice this is not 3 to the 2nd power. I'm sorry, this is not 3 times 2, which is 6, but it's 3, which has an exponent of 1. So it's 1 times 2, which is 3 to the 2nd power. So 9 times 4 is 36. I've got 11 A's, 2 and 9 make 11, and my B's, there's only 2 of them. You do not need like terms to multiply. You would need like terms if you were adding. We can reduce. You cannot cross the 8's out, but what number goes into both of those? 2 goes into this 4 times. 2 goes into that 9 times. A negative exponent means it's going to come down to the bottom. So you're going to have x to the 15th power. The negative exponent on bottom belongs on the top. So 2 more are going to move to the top. So you have y to the 6th. Here with the 5, you're going to put the 5 as an exponent of every term that's inside the parentheses. So we have 32 x to the 20th y to the 30th. Here, when we're multiplying two fractions, you can either multiply them and then reduce them. You can reduce them first if you wish, like the 4 and the 12. 4 goes into 12 3 times, so we're going to call that a -3. The 7 is going to go into the 21 3 times. So we have -3 xy, and we have 3x to the 5th y squared, x to the 4th, and y. So those are the values we have so far. I can cross out all of my x's either with this one or definitely with 4 of those. So if there's 5 total, there would still be 1 left over. So I'm going to leave that x sitting there. This y is going to cross out with that y. So I'm left with -3 x times 3x y squared. So -9x squared y squared. A couple more for us to keep trying. We can reduce with there. The y to the -3rd, it has a negative exponent, so it's going to be moved to the other side, which in this case moves it up. Anything raised to a 0 power is a value of 1. 1 times anything is that anything. It has a negative exponent, so it's going to go to the denominator and now has a positive exponent. We'll have a positive exponent in the denominator. Here we need to distribute the 4 to the 1 as an exponent, to the 3, to the 1, to the 1, to the 1, and to the 2. It multiplies the exponents. So it's 2 to the 4th power, x to the 12th power, y to the 4th power, 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th, y to the 8th. So now we get 16 x to the 12th, y to the 4th. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 makes 81. No number goes into here, so we still get our 16 over 81. Our x's can cross out and make an 8. Our y's can cross out and make 4 left on the bottom. So x to the 8th power, y to the 4th power. Last couple to go. Distribute it to the 1, to the -4, and to the 5. When you distribute, you're looking at multiplying. So 3 squared is going to make 9 on the bottom because it's a negative exponent. The number's not negative, it just belongs in the denominator. This exponent is positive, so it's going to stay. In this case, stay on top of a fraction. And in this case, it's going to go to the bottom of the fraction. 3 squared you got to multiply each of the exponents. each of the exponents. So this is 9, a to the 4th, b to the 6th, 8, a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd, 72, a to the 7th, b to the 9th. In this case, we have a 4. X to the negative 10 means that they want to be on bottom. The y to the 8th is happy right where it's at. The 9. X to the negative 8. Negative 8 not happy. So it needs to go to the top. Y to the positive 6. Positive 6 is happy right where it's at. So we're going to have 2 x's left on bottom because there's 2 extra on bottom. There are 2 extra y's on top. Then this last one, this should be a multiplying symbol. So I'm going to start reducing a few of these. The 4 and the 8 are going to cross out. The 3 and the 9 are going to cross out. So I get 2 x to the negative 3 y to the 5th okay. We're going to put these 3 x's on the bottom. Now we have x to the 5th. We have 5 y's on top with 1 y on bottom, so now we have 4 y's on top. These 2 x's are going to go to the top. These 3 y's are going to go to the bottom. You have 4 y's on top with 4 y's on bottom. You have 2 extra y's, or x's, 2 extra x's on top. And that's that.